Good day, everyone. In this video, I will be discussing the branches of philosophy. But before we can delve into that, we must first understand what exactly is philosophy. Philosophy is the study of reality, knowledge, and existence. It is a systematic body of knowledge. Now, how can we differentiate philosophy from science, which is also a systematic body of knowledge? Philosophy relies on pure understanding to reach conclusions, while science relies on experiments and observable data. You can say that philosophers get their understanding of the world around them from their own understanding from within themselves. Scientists get their understanding from testing their surroundings from outside of themselves. Now, philosophy seeks to understand the meaning of life by asking why. Why, why, why? It is a constant stream of questions to find the ultimate causes of all things, its source, and its purpose. Philosophers ask a lot of questions to find the ultimate causes of all things. They can all fall under three main branches of philosophy, which is metaphysics, epistemology, and axiology. These three branches all have certain objects that they question. Metaphysics questions reality, it is the philosophy of being. Epistemology is the philosophy of knowledge, and it questions knowledge itself. Axiology is the philosophy of action, it questions our values. To further understand the main branches of philosophy, I would like for you to think of them as trains of thought, starting from metaphysics to epistemology and to axiology. Our first one is metaphysics. It is the study of reality. One of the first questions that you may ask yourself is, what is everything made out of? What makes reality? Saan gawa ang mga bagay-bagay? Now, a scientist will answer that atoms make up everything around us. Now, a philosopher would ask, what are atoms made out of? And the answer to that would be protons, neutrons, and electrons. And the philosopher would not stop there. They would continue asking, what are they made out of? What are they made out of? Continuous, until they find the main source of what everything is made out of. Now, once they get tired of asking that question, or once they've come to a conclusion, they can ask a different side of metaphysics, which is, how can I be sure that what is in front of me is real? How can I be sure that it is not just a projection of something that I cannot understand? How can I be sure that I'm not dreaming? How am I sure that what I am experiencing now is real? And yeah, once you've asked all of that, once you've come to the conclusion, because asking for the source of reality is a long-winded process that doesn't seem to end, you can come to the conclusion that, can I even know what reality is? And if I can know this, what else can I know? Which is the next branch of philosophy, which is epistemology, the study of knowledge. It asks, what can we know and how can we know them? Under epistemology is logic, which is a tool of philosophy and is also considered as a branch. It is the study of valid and sound reasoning, and it asks, is what I know true and is what I know real? Now, once you've asked all these questions, once you come to conclusions of reality and what you can know, how you can learn them, and if what you do know is true and real, you can come to the question of, what do I do with all this knowledge? Which leads to our next branch, that is axiology, the study of values and actions. It asks, how should we act and what is good? Values and actions are under one branch because values lead to our actions. It shapes our actions, and our actions in turn shape our values. Under axiology is ethics, which asks what is morally good. The next one is aesthetics, which asks what is beautiful. Now, this may be a little bit confusing because the first thing that comes to mind when we ask what is what is beautiful in a person? What what looks beautiful for you? What's your type in a person? But for aesthetics, that is not the case. We look at beauty in a sense of harmony, in a sense of balance. And beauty, when we think of it in that way, is a value. We ask, what makes something harmonious? What makes something balanced? What, how can we make something harmonious? And that is the question of aesthetics. The next one is politics, which concerns itself with the distribution of power in societies. It can be considered as a mix of both ethics and aesthetics because it asks how do we distribute power in societies in a morally good way, in a way that is harmonious, and in a way that is graceful. Now, with all these questions, one can stray, one can get confused, one can forget how we started, which is the question of why. One can also ask how do these branches help in getting an answer for the main question of philosophy? Why? Why do we exist? What is the reason for my being? Well, asking for why is asking for a cause, and our cause is our principle and our purpose, our punot dulo. Finding out your why, your cause, your principles, and your purpose is finding the meaning in existence. If you know your reality, if you know what you can know, if you know how to get them, if you know that what you know is true, and you know how to act, then you can place a value and meaning in your existence. The traditional branches of philosophy, like metaphysics, epistemology, logic, ethics, aesthetics, and politics, help in discovering, articulating, and actualizing meaning in existence. That is all for this discussion. I hope that you've learned something in this very brief discussion. Thank you for listening.